because of not trying. Ultimately, it will be an issue beyond our control. I took this reasoning myself to explain this to you as citizens. We've continued to explain. You've seen the statements we've made. The confusion around seizing the national mourning was because of that Wednesday, when we should have received him, and we had extended mourning by 9 more days. But then Wednesday came, you know the Wednesday I'm talking about. We couldn't continue mourning in perpetuity. It's got no connection to the issue or the desire to bury him with full military honors. Absolutely not. And we say the families, if they're willing, we are able to engage. We are available. We are doing this thing as a duty. Thank you, colleagues, for giving me your ears on this matter. Now, today's meeting, I already thanked you for coming to the meeting. I reiterate that. I thought that engagement is important. My dear colleagues, engagement, dialogue is important. Not shouting at each other, not calling each other names. That culture will not build this nation. We thought that whatever the issue may be, we must dialogue. We must keep the dialogue open, civilized, respectful dialogue, not throwing stones, not threatening each other. Absolutely no. On what issue? On the constitutional amendment. On the constitutional amendment. Oh, it's not for me. On the constitutional amendment. I want to say to you, colleagues, the constitutional amendment process was never a matter that we wanted to be malicious. Never. You heard the issues about, no, HH wants to extend his term by 7 more years. No, none of that. HH and his government want to drop the running mate. No. HH wants to drop the majoritarian system, 50+1. No. Our intent then and now is simple. It's noble. To address issues that cause problems. I will leave Article 52 to the Minister of Home Affairs. Why we thought Article 2 needed to be amended. 52, not 2. 52. Article 52. But we've all talked about the cost of by-elections, women representation. We may not be doing it to your liking. Even amongst yourselves, I'm sure you're not agreed. It's normal. But the intent is genuine, to bring women for the first time, in addition to those elected in an open election. Are the numbers enough? Maybe not enough. This is a good start. The youth, are the numbers enough? Maybe not, but it's a good start. So are those who live with disabilities, our family members. Let me return to by-elections. It's a very, very expensive venture. It is destructive. It is acrimonious sometimes. I know you've forgotten already 4 years ago, every time there was a by-election, there was blood. A lot of it, not a little, a lot of it. There was a lot of tear gas, a lot of pangas. I know you've forgotten, because that's who we are, Zambians. Forget quickly. But people are talking out of context like there was never mayhem around by-elections. There was. Maybe there are occasions still happening now and then, very many more. Life is also about a benchmark. What was it before? What is it now? We're working hard to stop those issues. But I think we can also use the money available to us, resources are always scarce, in a better way. Buy an extra, build an extra classroom for a child. employ an extra teacher. Honestly speaking, buy a bit more fertilizer for a few more people who need it for food security. Is that perfect? No, never. But it's the right direction, colleagues, honestly speaking. I can cite a few other examples. Attorney General, for 3 months, because of the technicalities, and the election is held, a new party wins, they want to put an Attorney General. In fact, immediately there's a change of government, the Attorney General and Solicitor General leave office without even a motivation through a letter. There's no instrument which is defined. Immediately there's a change of government, Attorney General and Solicitor General must leave office. Now, is that how we run institutions called government? Who is the handover? You can't present a budget. My dear friend seated here. Elections are in August. At that point, there's already a budget season on the table. You cannot present a budget without the signature of the Attorney General. So how do you manage public resources? I think we are not applying ourselves to the key things that need to be addressed, which are in the Constitution. The process will take 3 years or so, three months, I beg your pardon, because of the parliamentary processes, the what do you call it, ratification processes. It's there. And let's assume the names that have been presented are not acceptable to Parliament. It means you have to start all over, so it could take 6 months. So how do you deliver resources to the owners? You, the people of Zambia. Last President, it's not a wish list. It is a genuine challenge. I faced it myself when you elected me into office. And I was quite frustrated. I said, how have we been running things? I can cite other examples. Nominations. Currently 8. In percentage terms, 5% of the elected members. The Russia now behind there has been there even pre-independence, colonial days, to take care of certain interests. How did I make this fellow make use of the 5%, 8 nominated? We didn't get MPs in Luapula, in Northern. And this president chose to bring inclusion in the government rather than exclusions, which we saw in the previous government. Four provinces or so had no cabinet ministers on this table, because the argument was that there were no MPs in certain provinces. I used that on your behalf to nominate 50% of the 8 from Northern, Luapula, Muchinga, where we didn't do well to get MPs. And all of them are ministers. Minister Kapala from Luapula, Minister Mubanga from Muchinga, Minister Mwamba from Northern, Minister Mutati from Northern. If there was no provision like that, there would have been no cabinet minister from Northern, from Luapula, Muchinga. I don't want to get to qualitative issues. I'm just talking about basic warm bodies, human beings. There would have been none. Was that acceptable to me? No. Maybe it was acceptable to you? I don't think so. Country must run on inclusion, not on exclusions. So, but when we made a proposal that there will be nominations, presidential nominations, we made a mistake. I want to admit, we made a mistake. We did not present it properly. It looked open-ended, Madam Chair, like the president may nominate 30. It was a mistake, which I admit. It was meant to retain the proportions 5% of elected members. On the proposal we've made, 256, correct me, Naziwa, 256, and nominated MPs will be 10. It's a paltry number to carry on with the reasoning, with the rationale that was there before. Nothing malicious. I've come to notice that in this country, a guy like me is always viewed to be malicious and assessed differently from presidents before me. You want me to justify that? Yes. This country since independence has had 4 political parties running the country. UNIP, MMD, PF, and now UPND. All these 3 have amended the Constitution. UNIP amended the Constitution, I think twice. 1972 or 73, correct me if I'm wrong. 1991, it was UNIP that amended the Constitution. In 1996, MMD amended the Constitution. In 2016, PF amended the Constitution. There wasn't this sort of hatred I can touch, I can feel, because it is HH. It is this animal pariah we don't like. Why don't you like your fellow citizen? What's the issue? When did they amend the Constitution, Chair? Because you are saying, no, you don't want to amend the Constitution in the election year. 1991, election year, UNIP. 1996, MMD, election year. 2016, under PF, election year. January, election was August 2016, President Lungisan. This fellow, you are saying, no, you can't do it. What is the issue, colleagues? With due respect, with politeness. Timing? There's no divine time. The process we're invoking is under Article 79. There is no other article. Constitutional review commissions have been held. Chona, Mwanakatwe, Mungomba, which one else? Mvunga. And then the NCC under the late Mwanawas, I think. Did they result in a total overhaul of the Constitution? 0. Laws is saying not or not. 0. None of them resulted into an overhaul of the Constitution. This particular fellow, this particular government, no, we want a total overhaul. Why? Let me just mention 1 or 2 more things and I'll stand down. I'm really asking for a normal conversation. Assume I'm not the president. I must assume I'm just a fellow citizen. Why? What is this heat all about? What is this abuse, throwing stones, insults, all of this? So now, an attempt was made for an overhaul of the Constitution in 2015, when we had a referendum. Most of you have forgotten. Referendum would have allowed us to amend the Constitution holistically. The referendum failed. We were not even availed with the results of the referendum. I don't know who knows the results. All we know it failed. Citizens said no. Would I want to go in that direction? Would we want to go in that direction of referendum? No. The way the referendum is defined in the Constitution, are there lawyers inside? Other than the president, Yes, there are lawyers. President Lungisan, you described to us the definition of 2/3 in that constitution for a referendum to pass. It's not 2/3 of those who vote. It's 2/3 of the eligible citizens. That's a wedding. To get 2/3 of the eligible voters, citizens who vote, means you have to whip everybody who doesn't want to vote. First, to register. Secondly, to get them to vote. You can never succeed in our referendum provisions. You are here. You're the lawyer. I'm not. I'm just a casual reader of the Constitution. But since you elected me into this office, I read it a lot, so I can avoid making mistakes. So you don't send me to jail. Madam Miti, the definition, Madam Chair, of the referendum 2/3 majority is the 2/3 of eligible, those who are supposed to, of 18 years and above. You can never succeed in a referendum. I don't know how we're going to. It means we will not touch the referendum forever, because until we change the definition of 2/3, you can debate that for another day. But that's my interpretation. So it failed. So it means that Article 78, therefore, 79, I beg your pardon, is the one that the subsequent governments applied. What is special? What is this anger about this individual and this government? I'm beginning to suspect that there's unfair treatment. Was there consensus? Would there be consensus in a community of 20 million people? No. 100% consensus? No. All these constitutional review amendments, were there 100% consensus? No. 2015, we were all here. 2016, sorry. We were all here. The debates raged on and on and on. But at least that amendment led to a running mate coming in to avoid presidential by-elections. By the way, Chair, that sets the precedence for our argument over avoiding by-elections. Why did we amend the Constitution to avoid presidential by-elections? I know you know. Cost? Too high? Disruption? We are just walking in line with already a precedent citizens made that they don't want by-elections. Why just at the presidency? Why not MPs? Why not council mayors? Why not council chairmen? Why not councillor? Why not? The Russia now was already agreed. And we're using secondary data, Mwanza, to benefit from the various constitutional review commissions. We've extracted quite a lot from the secondary data. The money was spent. I know people want to belong to be part of the Constitutional Review Commission, to go round and round and round, the allowances. Secondary data is there. Let's use it. Not wholly, but Chair, partially. This is the approach of this government. The clear opposite of what has been going on and has not succeeded. Lengthy, expensive processes. My dear colleagues, this is what I thought we should engage a little bit. I don't want to waste time. I'm only picking a few themes to suggest the importance of this process, not to ignore the need to make amendments, low-hanging fruit, full-fledged, not possible. Maybe when one of you is the head of state, maybe you'll have so much goodwill that you can get 75% to amend the Bill of Rights. I know my colleagues will come and say a few things. I just wanted to open the dialogue and emphasize the importance of talking to each other. You have concerns? Yes, that's the way it should be. Are we willing to hear them? Yes. Can we reach amicable resolution? Yes. 100%? No. But reasonable. We know process protects content, is said. Now you know the content, those malicious things are not there. Maybe it's only malicious to us, to those who said them, they are buried. Let's respect their views. But now that you know the content, and the mistake which we made, I didn't conclude that point, I drifted a bit, that to reinforce it, it's not open-ended for the presidential nominations. Let's keep the 5%. We've corrected that, but I know the first cut is the deepest. The impression that was left was that the president wanted to nominate 40 MPs so he can have majority in the House. No. So I think, my dear friends, I've said why I thought we should engage. I think after debate we would maybe reach some reasonable level how we can proceed. But there's a willingness on our part as your servants to hear you out, to also see if there are certain things we can alter to allow, for example, the issue of further consultations. Will you consult for 2 years? No. Because we were falling in the same trap. Reasonable time, Chair. Reasonable time. Because this is not for us. It's for the people. But we must also know our limitations. Time is money. And we designed it that we don't waste money through time. But if citizens have voices, they're unhappy, let's hear the citizens. But last President, just to simply say, no, we don't want. What is the meaning of that? Even before the content was known, no, we don't want. Why don't we dialogue? We made mistakes. Yeah. Correct us. Correct us, madam. This is your country. It's not my country alone. We share it equally. I know some people think there are more citizens than others. I disagree. We share the country equally. There's no segregation of citizenship. We all are one weight, one citizen, Mark 1, 2. So I'm also aware that you are concerned about the NGO bill. NGO Act first. I think there's a law already. Then the bill that we have promulgated, which we thought we were solving a problem. But I do pick now that a number are not happy with it. We want to hear you out also. We are happy to reach some amicable position. We want to do what is right. We don't want to over-regulate anybody. In my view, after all, there are enough laws to regulate all of us. So if we don't want a bill, what's the problem? We discuss, we agree. What about the existing act? Tell us what you don't want. Maybe we can work together. You can give us suggestions what you want done in that area. But let's continue with the process. Let's not store the process. Let's see what is the solution. Nobody wins at all in this process. Delimitation, I close here. Some constituencies you have to drive 40 kilometers, I'm lying, 400 kilometers from one point to another. 400. I know a number because I've traveled around this country in my difficult days. And I would ask, we're still in the same constituency? The answer is yes. I think we need to address those issues, especially that we're taking money closer to the communities. When we started this process of enhanced CDF, we didn't want to calculate equity. Equity is a qualitative aspect. Because of the divisiveness in this country, we focus on equality, equal quantum. We knew that some constituencies were bigger than others. Didn't we know? We knew. We knew that some constituencies had more people than others. But we thought this is the time to address that a little bit. So people say, why have you stated now? We first had to address COVID we inherited. We had to address the debt situation. We had to address restoration of the economy, which had plummeted to minus 2.8% GDP growth. Amanza, Chair. And to abuse a few people who will not be angry with me when I call their names out. I won't call you. I've already called you out, Madam Meeting. So, but you will not be angry with me. We had to deal with the economic parameters. There was no economy, colleagues, here. You don't have to be trained in this field to know that there was no economy. How do we know? Economy went down, debt went up, couldn't pay council salaries. We know that. But I'm sure we have assumed we've forgotten. So we thought that first let's handle those issues of restoring the integrity of the state. Rule of law. When did you last hear or see on television blood at Kulimata? When did you last see blood? When did you last see blood at Intercity? Where America won, Eddie Goa was operating from, PF Kada, beating people to hell. America too, Muchemwa, when they were running Intercity, blood was weekly there. When did you see blood at Intercity? Or Kamugodi, right? You see, these people never experienced what we saw, and I understand them. Yeah, some of them, some I think a few of them spent a night or two in the cells. A few of them, yeah. I remember trying to help one. It is different now. But when we talk, last President, it's like there's no change. It's actually getting worse. There's no democratic space. In the context of what? What is the benchmark? 4 years ago, it was bad. We are gradually getting better. Colleagues, we can do more? Yes, we can. With working together. I want to end here by saying I'm so grateful that you came, especially in your diversity in terms of institutions, Madam Chair, in your numbers. And I want to encourage us to retain civility, mutual respect, politeness when we engage each other, even when we are not happy with each other. A lot of people misread me a lot because I'm quiet. People say things. Every morning they say things about this fellow here. And my wife says, do you have a dual personality or what? Because I've been married to you for a long time. I don't see this character people are describing about you. I said to her, it's okay. It's all right. Comes with the territory. But we can do better as a nation. Especially we in this room. We can do better. To talk to each other properly. Thank you, Chair. Moderator. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. We'll quickly move on to